Man, I'm already hearing thunder here.
Oh man, it looks like it got really dark.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty dark. Um, yeah, but hopefully, power stays.
Yeah.
Okay, we're at 2 minutes, pretty much exactly. So I'll put my headphones on, and the next thing you hear will hopefully be the jingle to get us started. Or you'll know, and if you haven't heard it, you'll definitely notice the jingle. All right.
And donuts from the bakery. It's a great place to sit down and get some work done, complete with comfortable seating and free Wi-Fi. A welcoming, cozy environment found at your local neighborhood market basket. Come visit us at Markets Cafe, Demoulas Market Basket. More for your dollar.
There's an old New England saying for just about everything in life, but our favorite is this one. Use only the finest 100% Arabica beans. We're the New England Coffee Company, and we've been perfecting the art of coffee roasting for over 85 years. All that experience has created a reputation for exceptional coffee, so that every cup is rich, satisfying, delicious. In the New England tradition, New England Coffee, available at your local supermarket.
WNTN, Cambridge, Needham, Boston.
Music from France. Music from France. Music you recommend.
Hey, welcome back. And this is Music from Friends on WNTN 1550 AM. Thank you all so much for listening tonight and every time you've tuned in. I am the host of the show, Brian Thomason, and be sure to follow the show on Instagram. It's at Music from Friends on Instagram. You can get updates about the show and who the guest is in the coming weeks. And there is still time to join us on patreon.com so that you can view a live stream of this show tonight. That's patreon.com / Music from Friends. We have a great guest streaming into the show tonight, and this is the first song from him, and it's called Looking for You.
I got the feeling that today could be the day I'm gonna find me the girl of my dreams. Take her out on a date. I see a silhouette there at the end of the street. Then it up and vanishes for on my feet. I was hot on a trail. Am I doomed to fail? These days I find myself thinking, wearing this world, can I find out that's true? Spend nights in a fancy of searching, but I'll be alright, 'cause I'm looking for you. Yes, I'll be alright, 'cause I'm looking for you. 'Cause I'm looking for you. Hey, matchmaker, won't you help me find my love? I want a girl who is hotter than flames. I'll place someone above. You say that woman's at a land where you've never been. Eyes of color you've never seen. And since you're headed that way, won't you please take me? These days I find myself thinking, when in this world can I find love that's true? Spend nights in a fancy of searching, but I'll be alright, 'cause I'm looking for you. These days I find myself thinking, when in this world can I find love that's true? Spend nights in a fancy of searching, but I'll be alright, 'cause I'm looking for you. Yes, I'll be alright, 'cause I'm looking for you. 'Cause I'm looking for you, babe. Searching on every corner, on every street, and I'm looking for you, looking for you. Man, where you at? Can't seem to find you, man. 'Cause I'm looking for you, babe. 'Cause I'm looking for you, babe. 'Cause I'm looking for you, baby.
Oh, that's so good. Tonight's guest joins the show from New York City and brings a fusion of jazz, folk, and other musical styles from many different cultures. His childhood love for music and his formal education in it as an adult all came together to make his 2017 album, Free to Be. And with that one album, he's already had so much success. In 2018, he was nominated for Male Performer of the Year at the New England Music Awards. He has received lots of accolades from music professionals, professors, and music magazines like Middle Tennessee Music and others in New England. His music has been heard on numerous radio stations such as WERS 88.9 here in Boston and 90.5 WICN and WEMF and WATP. Lastly, he has played on countless stages across New England, New York, and even Illinois. And when COVID took away those live shows for a time, he turned to streaming his music and recording covers for his YouTube channel. He is super talented instrumentally and with the pen as well. And it's a pleasure to welcome to the show, Louis Apollon. Hey, how are you?
Hey, thank you, Brian. Man, what a great introduction. Holy crap. Thank you.
Thanks. A lot of that I got from your EPK, which is amazing, and the bio on your website also.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, I love it. That's all, everything people said about you. So, you're in New York.
I think am I chopping up a little bit?
You are now a little bit, but it's better
no.
now. So,
Oh, no.
all right, now you're better.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. All right. I'll let everybody know. So he just had storms in New York City. Storms are coming through here. I've heard thunder a couple of times. So this will be interesting. I'm on the edge of my seat hoping that power stays for both of us. All right. So you're in New York City. Things are opening up a lot more now. The last time I talked to anybody really in New York City that was playing music was Brian Jakes. And he had left there a couple months ago. So what's it like now that things are really opening up there?
Man, it's kind of surreal, to be honest. I mean, folks are getting out and everyone's like really excited, especially for live music. You know, people are coming and really supporting shows. Like, there's a lot of places that still have bands play outside, but they're starting to have some indoor shows now too. But yeah, it's I feel like the city has been becoming more alive. Yeah,
Okay.
it's been really cool, and like I don't know if it's a little scary too. But it's been really cool because especially in the shows that I played out on the street, folks are like super appreciative, and it's like I don't know, man. I feel like just live music is just something that does it, you know? It's just like magic. People are like, oh man, we want this to be back. You know? Both musicians and people who are listening, you know?
Yeah. And it seemed like once they opened the gates and said, okay, let's go, everybody started booking shows, and now it's just kind of exploded, that people are just ready for that music, like you said. So
ready.
It's awesome that it's happening there and in Boston as well. So, all right, so we'll start at the very beginning. You have Haitian parents. They moved to New York City. And you said in your bio that music was something that was just always around you at your house. You actually told a story about how you broke your dad's record player trying to scratch records. So how did that happen? How did your parents have this love for music? Were they musically inclined, or how did they get that when they moved to New York City?
I think they're just fans of music. I mean, I guess we always just had music in the house, especially Haitian music. We had a lot of compa in the house, like CDs, cassette tapes, records. And I feel like I remember myself as a kid, and I'd always be sitting in front of it was like this huge kind of like console. It was like a radio / cassette / record player kind of combo.
Was it made out of wood, and did it have like a
Yeah.
little lid on it too?
Yep.
I think my mom had one too.
So I'd be like sitting on the floor and like just like going through the different like cassettes and records and stuff, and playing and just like listening to music. And they had like a surprisingly really eclectic mix of music. So yeah, I just remember like the thing I remember most, or at least some of the stuff I remember most, is like listening to like Bobby McFerrin, the Yo-Yo Ma record, or cassette tape. I think it was a cassette. Some Michael Jackson, of course, was there. And just like random cassettes with like I guess they used to do like these like promo tapes where they like have a bunch of different artists on them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and then for some reason I'm like remembering "Damn Yankees" for some reason. I can't remember which song. It was just like so random.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that was the early playlist.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Those different tapes. And then, so as you kind of grew up, the first instrument that I think you talked about playing was the clarinet. And did that happen at school, or did anybody in your family play the clarinet? And they're like, "Hey, here's this. You can play this."
It happened at school. I feel like my parents, I guess, did their research and saw that music was really good for kids to, well, to like, you know, expand their minds, and like people who did music did better at school. So, actually, both me and my sister picked up instruments. She got the saxophone, I got the clarinet, and I was so jealous. I was so jealous. I was like, oh man, I want to play saxophone or trumpet. But, you know, maybe my parents didn't want trumpet because I understand now. It's like crazy. Wow.
those are a lot louder than a clarinet with the trumpet.
Yeah.
And you didn't want to be, you know, which saxophone did your sister play? You didn't
She
want to
played the alto sax.
Okay,
Yeah.
you could have gone like baritone or soprano. I mean,
Sure.
that soprano is a little bit more like clarinet.
True. And I feel like those who like really progress in like woodwinds, especially like jazz players, they play them all. It's
Yeah.
fascinating, amazing.
Yeah, I don't know how you can remember all the different, you know, fingerings and everything on all the different instruments, and you know, changing, you know, how you blow on the reed and everything. Just, I don't know. I was a
Right.
drummer, and I did not have to worry about all that stuff. I just had to remember which tom to hit it at which time. So that was the easy part. So then you picked up the guitar at some point, right? And is that your main instrument now? Although you can play a lot, and we can talk about those, but now it seems like you really are very comfortable on the guitar and really skilled at it.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess that's my main like accompanying like instrument for sure, guitar. And actually, I started playing guitar probably in like late high school because a bunch of my friends were in bands, and I'd sometimes go to their shows and be like, "Oh man, this is really really cool." And I picked up an acoustic guitar and just tried it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just kind of came to you? Was it really natural to you?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
I was gonna say, was it just natural to
No
you? Like, oh, I
way.
can just learn a couple chords and you just.
Like, man, I feel like starting any instrument is so difficult. Because there's always like, growing pains when you start.
Yep.
And for guitar, I feel like I picked it up and put it down a lot until, man, until like I was pretty much an adult.
Okay.
Until I actually started really learning guitar and taking some lessons.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right. And did you do piano at all?
I did piano.
When you'd set the guitar down, then you go to the piano and you're like, I can't decide which one I want to do.
When I was really young, I think piano was the very first instrument.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I guess it didn't count because we didn't stick with it for very long
All right.
before we did clarinet and sax. But yeah, I love piano too. I picked up piano again later. Again. And it's amazing. I love piano.
So
But I don't play it nearly as fluent as I play guitar.
as a guitar, I was
Not
trying to
even
think, like,
close.
have you played it on any of the videos on your YouTube channel? I can't remember if I've seen you play it at all on any of those.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But soon.
Oh, okay.
Soon.
You have one coming
Working
up.
on
Nice.
one now, yeah.
Nice. Okay. I feel like with all the different instruments, it's almost like learning different languages for each one. Like, and it takes that level of kind of practice and dedication. Like it's really hard starting out on a guitar, but just like speaking any kind of other language, you speak the basics and then you kind of learn and build from that. So yeah, I can see why it would be hard to, kind of stick with the guitar.
Totally, 100% agree.
Yeah. So even though you've loved music and kind of been around it your whole life, played it your whole life, you started to take a very different turn as an adult, and you went into the business world, right? You graduated from Notre Dame, is that right?
Yep.
With a business degree? Okay.
Yep.
Nice work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a good school for sure. But then you talk about well, first of all, why the business degree? Why that, and why not just keep going with music?
Actually, at that point when I was going to college, it's like I always knew music was such a huge part of my life, and I wanted to keep learning. and actually college was when I first started to sing as well.
Okay.
But I didn't really know yet that that's what I really, really wanted. And I don't know, I just felt like there was like a kind of pressure at school to kind of do something that's like, okay, I got to get a good job after.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay these loans off. Like, like, yeah. So like, yeah, I feel like that's pretty much the main reason why I did the business degree. But I did do like a music minor there
Okay.
as well,
Okay.
with in voice.
Did you think about combining the two and going into like the
I
business
didn't.
and doing
I
something?
didn't.
Okay. All right.
I didn't.
Oh,
No.
all right. And then you, again, in your EPK on your website, you mentioned that there was this realization at some point after you had been in the business world that wasn't for you and that you were going to go into full-time music. What was that realization that happened that moved that needle so much?
Man, it was just that I was working this full-time job,
Mhm.
and it was a really, really good job. And the team I was on, and like all my coworkers were really super awesome and sweet. And I was there for like maybe like 4 years or so.
Okay.
But that whole time I was on the side doing music stuff, like all the time.
Okay.
I
Like
sang-
playing open mics and stuff?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Open mics. I sang in a couple choirs, played gigs. Like I was just doing music all the time outside of work.
Mhm.
So I was like, why don't I do this? Like take it like at least try to put myself in a position where I can do music or be in the music world like full time.
Was that
And then,
that must have been a big step though?
Yeah, it was. And it was, I guess, but it felt right. It felt right because I knew that I wasn't where I was supposed to be. Yeah.
That and you haven't really looked back since, I guess, on that decision. Like you've just kind of gone with it now, and shortly after that, is that when your album came out?
No, the album came out maybe like years later.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because I actually went back to school.
Oh yes, yeah, at the jazz school in Illinois. Is that right?
No, in Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. Okay,
Tri-C,
all right.
yeah.
Okay.
Cuyahoga Community College. Man, I learned, and that's where I took my first guitar lessons, and I took piano lessons, and I feel like there I learned the most out of everywhere. Just like overall, like harmony, ear training, like I feel like I owe them a huge debt when it comes to that. Like, I learned so much over there. They've got a really amazing program. It's amazing.
And is it a smaller school? So did it
Yeah.
feel you could really get to know the professors and really kind of explore the music world a little bit? And that must have been helpful, right?
Oh, it was so helpful because like there's maybe I feel like there's maybe 20 something of us, and maybe like
Wow.
8 teachers, something
Okay.
like that. So and the teachers would encourage us to get real world experience. So they'd bring us out to gigs sometimes.
Oh, really?
And like have us sit in, yeah, like
Wow.
and like just really encourage us to really get out and play, and which is like so helpful. I mean,
Right. It's one thing to be in the classroom and learning about it. It's a whole nother thing to get out there and like
And-
really actually do it. And would they
Yeah.
come and watch your performances too and critique you in a sense or give you feedback at
I
all?
mean, sometimes, yeah. But especially if they're running the group and they have like people come and sit in, that's like, it's huge. It's like such a such a useful learning experience, especially like playing with the teachers who are like crazy high level musicianship,
Right.
So it's like, man, it was cool.
And to have them bring connections that they had in the music world, to your performances. I mean, that must have been, that's amazing. So many artists would just dream of having, record producers or labels just show up and listen to their show. I mean, that's incredible.
Well, I don't know about that. It's like for me, I guess I can just speak for myself. Like, just at that point, man, I was just like so nervous. Like, oh my god, I gotta do this. I gotta just, sing the right notes, or just,
Right.
you know what I mean? Or just not embarrass myself in front of my teacher.
I still got to get a grade. I got to get a job after this. So I got. That's awesome. Well, you're not really nervous performing now. I hope.
Oh my
and you
god, I
have
am
a-
so nervous
You're
performing
nervous?
now. Yeah. It never goes away. It's
Really?
just kind of, no, for me at least, it never
Mhm.
goes away. It's just like, I guess you just kind of learn to tap in,
Mm.
you know?
And like harness that nervousness or that energy to get you through.
I guess so. I feel it's hard to explain. Sometimes it's you get into the mood of a song,
Mm-hmm.
and to really, I guess, express what's happening in that song in the right way, you kind of have to have a certain mindset and focus, I guess,
Mhm.
for me.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's it's hard to explain.
All right. Nice. Well, you have a song for us. You have a couple of songs, but we'll do one right now.
Sure.
And it's funny, we were talking before we started how I don't know which song you're going to play, so I'm going to be surprised too. You had a couple of options. I'm curious which one you're going to go with. While you're setting up, I'll just say thank you to everybody who is also watching on the live stream on YouTube. If you want to chime in, if you have a question for Lewis, you can ask it in the comments section, and I will be sure I pass that along to him. And also, thank you to everybody who's listening on the radio. All right, you are set up and ready to go. What's the name of the song?
I'm gonna do "Gone to the Water."
Okay, Gone to the Water. I will mute my mic and just sit back and enjoy the awesomeness. So here is Gone to the Water by Louis Apollon.
And also, I noticed that Tara and Rachel are here. Hi. Thanks for coming and listening. This song is called "Gone to the Water." And it's a song I wrote pretty much in reflection of a trip that I took with my dad to Haiti. And my favorite part of that trip was going to fetch water. And even though it was so hard to do, it was like a lot of labor, it just made me feel really grateful, that, here I can just turn on a faucet and have clean water. But there we had to travel for miles and like over mountains and fill these huge barrels up and bring it back. Because we had so many people that we had to go fetch water to accommodate us all. And I came up with this idea for a song called "Gone to the Water." You see her dancing down the side of the great mountain in the sky. Mountain in the sky. She flows with beauty, flows with grace. In her reflection, see her face. See her pretty face. She'll help you find belief. She can restore belief. Let go of all your grief. You have to find her first, and she will quench your thirst. If you can learn from me, I've gone to the water. I've gone to the water. If you want, you can sing it home. I've gone to the water. Won't you come with me? I've gone to the water. Water. The lovely people of the village gather round, gently bathing and washing their clothes. They call to me, they're saying, come on down. She'll hold you in cool arms when you're too warm. She'll help you find belief. She can restore belief. Let go of all your grief. You have to find her first name. She will quench your thirst if you come up for me. I've gone to the water. I've gone to the water. I've gone to the water. Water, yeah, 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 yeah. I've gone to the water. I've gone to the water. I've gone to the water. Water. Hear a song in rivers and the streams. Whispers on your rooftops during summer rains. Gives her life to those that breathe. Come with me, we'll cleanse our souls. We'll cleanse our souls. Won't you come with me? We'll cleanse our souls. I've gone to the water. I've gone to the water. I've gone to the water. Water, yeah, 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 yeah. Muete ale notlo. Muete ale notlola. Muete ale notlo. 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 Muete ale notlo. No, 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 no. Water, 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 water.
That was good. That was so good. I'm glad I had my mics muted because I was drumming along to that. Such a good beat. I think Tara, you said? Is that?
Yeah.
All right. She said in the comments that that's one of her favorite songs, or she loves it, actually. And then Rachel also said in the comments, beautiful song and really powerful story behind it too. So that's great, and I love that you could just break into a different language there, just kind of seamless and flawless. That's really powerful. So the EP, we were saying before the song that the EP came several years after that realization you had. What prompted that EP? How did you go from, okay, I'm going to have this realization, I'm just going to play live, to, okay, I'm going to actually turn this into, and not an EP, I'm sorry, album. I don't know why I call it an EP, I'm sorry. This album, like what finally prompted that album to happen?
Well, after my time at Tri-C in Cleveland, I actually transferred over to Berkeley, where I met a bunch of really amazing musicians, and really, really focused on my songwriting there. And I have to say, like, all my songwriting chops have come from that place and my teachers, wonderful teachers. And I had a bunch of songs and a bunch of friends that were amazing musicians, like, and I feel like I had enough to put something together and put something out. And I just kind of wanted to do it as like a, maybe like a, I don't know, final kind of thesis kind of deal, or kind of like, because I was a songwriting major, and like we pretty much had to like have a portfolio.
Oh wow!
So
right.
yeah, I guess it kind of like was a spin-off of that. I was like, let's like actually record these tunes. Yeah. We recorded it at the record company.
Okay.
Um,
Like on campus?
no. The
Oh,
record company.
there is a place called the Record
Yeah,
Company.
yeah.
Okay.
In Boston. In
Oh,
Boston.
it's in. I should know that. It's in
Yeah.
Boston. All right. Where is it at in Boston?
Oh man, it's like in the middle of like these like man, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
It's kind of like man, where exactly? Do you
Like
know?
like right in the city.
No,
Okay.
not right in the city.
All right.
Just south, just south
Okay.
of the
Like Quincy
city.
area and stuff like that.
No, not even that far. Not.
Oh, not even that. I went
It's
from like
like
in the city, and then I just missed a whole lot of miles.
it's kind of
All right.
like maybe. Oh man, it's kind of towards like where Dorchester ends
Oh, okay. Okay.
and like where I don't know Boston proper begins.
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
there's like I feel like there's like a bunch of like warehouses there and like I just remember seeing a bunch of like delivery trucks, like 16-wheeler trucks, like
Right.
you know,
Driving
like
through all the time.
yeah, and like picking up like stuff. I don't know, food.
So how'd you get that
Things
connection though at the
at the
record
record
company?
company.
Yeah.
I feel like that like they're a really great resource for musicians because their rates are so user friendly.
Okay.
And you can pretty much bring your own like sound engineer.
Oh, really? All right.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you kind of just it's kind of like a DIY thing. You kind of run the show.
Oh, all right.
And it's like really amazing, especially when you go to school with people who went to school to be sound
Right.
engineers.
You're like, I don't mind bringing my
Like-
crew because they're great people.
right.
All right. So not for everybody, but if they know people who they trust who could mix
Oh
it
yeah.
well, I mean,
oh
it would
yeah,
be a really
You
great
c-
resource.
I mean, of
for
course,
musicians.
like people are vetted before they let you touch their like
Right.
amazing equipment.
I bet. Yeah. Wow. All right. So hopefully, if there are musicians in the Boston area who hear that, that could be a good resource for people to check out. But there are a lot of studios that follow me and that I keep in contact with on Instagram. So so many resources out there. I'm really glad you found that. And so it was pretty, budget friendly then to make
Mhm.
this album. And that was in 2017. But it got picked up pretty well because you were nominated for Male Artist of the Year at the New England Music Awards that in 2018. So how did that happen? How did you get this album out there so easily for people to hear it and blow
I
up?
feel like I was just playing a lot. I was playing
Okay.
a lot in the area, like all over the place. Like the Burn
Hmm.
was playing there, Club Passim, where else? Thunder Road. I don't know if Thunder Road's around anymore, but I was playing there. I was just kind of playing a lot and like just being on the scene. And I guess I was actually on John Shay's radio show for a bit.
You know what? I know John. we
Cool,
we have
dude.
so many like common friends and contacts. It's funny.
But yeah, I was like, yeah, I feel like just from playing around like New England a
Right.
bunch, I guess people heard him. I was so surprised. I was like, what? Is this like for real?
Yeah, and to get on the radio like you did, I mean, lots of different radio stations picked you up and played your stuff. So that's just really awesome how it took off. But that's a big gap between then and now. Like, was it just COVID that happened, or were you? I mean, you moved to New York out of Boston, so that's part of it. But is there, are you still working on more stuff? Like, what happened since the album?
Since the album, I guess, when did I move to Brooklyn? I feel like I moved to Brooklyn 2018. I moved here because my fiance actually got into grad school.
Okay.
And she just finished up. She
Congratulations.
finished up this. Thank you. And so yeah, we moved here to Brooklyn, and
Okay.
I started off like mostly teaching, and playing a bit, but then I actually had to move to another full-time job, just to like make ends meet.
Yeah.
But
I don't think Brooklyn's cheap.
no, New York City is not cheap. But I did pick up a job in the music field, so I'm actually working at Carnegie Hall now in their
Oh.
office. But meanwhile, I am playing more and writing new tunes, and I'm going to be recording some new stuff soon.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right. You're going to record there in New York, or you think we'll come back to Boston and do any recording? Or?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay. I love the videos that you've been making for YouTube and some of the songs. You have a really great cover of a Coldplay song on there.
Thank you.
And then also a cover of Toto.
Yeah.
Africa. Who was that was on that with you?
Dylan George.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, he's amazing. That guy plays so many instruments too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's a really cool dude. Really good friend of mine. I think he's still in the Boston area.
Okay.
And I don't think we went to school with each other. I think we went in at different years because we kind of missed each other.
Mhm.
But we became friends afterwards, and we actually started teaching like toddler and baby classes together.
Okay.
With this,
For like music or
Little
just
Groove.
like?
Yeah, music.
Okay.
At this place called Little Groove, which is kind of Boston. It's Boston based as well.
Okay.
Oh man, it's an amazing gig. But
It
yeah,
sounds
that's
great
my
to
buddy
get
Dylan.
kids started that young.
Oh yeah, it's man, like I feel like you're never too young to like, never too young or too old to really to learn or listen to or really be moved by music.
All right. So Tara also said she is really she can't wait for the new album. With that's a good transition to your next song, because did you tell me you were going to play a newer song?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Good transition. Thanks, Tara, for that transition. Yeah. So, what is the name of this song?
This song is called Monstre de Saint-Remy. The Monster of Saint Remy. And it comes from I was doing a kind of an exercise with some friends, and we picked an art piece to kind of use as inspiration, and we chose Van Gogh's Starry Night. And for me, I feel like I'm talking a lot now, but I'm a very introverted person. Like extremely introverted. So I guess I wrote this for all the introverted people out there like me, who once had to have an imaginary friend to talk to. And this is called Monstre de Saint-Remy. Some say that monsters aren't real. Not sure that's what I believe. Maybe we avoid them, 'cause they have a way of sending shivers down our sleeves. To my surprise, I wasn't frightened inside me that framed what I had seen. The night I met Monstre de Saint-Remy. Chasing down the alleyway, hurling past cold slips and sleepy homes. With Venus shining up ahead and echoes of our footsteps on the cool brown stone. Took a rest to catch my breath steadily. I won't catch up, it seems. The night I raced Monstre de Saint-Remy. It's enchanting how your eyes light up the midnight sky, and quite charming how your deep blue fur is home to fireflies. Folks don't know you, and I'm stuck here wondering why. Maybe because you live in a place where down is up and up is down. You said you'd like to keep this night between us. By morning you will be at Shade des Appies, just hiding in the mountains. Well, if I told anyone, they'd think I were crazy. So I'll leave you with a wink. Your secret's safe with me, mon ami. Mon sœur de Saint-Rémy. Mon sœur de Saint-Rémy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mon sœur de Saint-Rémy. Yeah, yeah. Mon sœur de Saint-Rémy.
So good. Thank you, Lewis. Jefferson Kim said that's just beautiful.
Thank you so much.
And from the moment you started, I knew it was going to be good.
Thank you.
Do you have a? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you want to find Monstre de Saint-Rémy, you can get a picture or see a picture of Starry Night and turn it upside down and see if you can find him or them or her or it. Yes.
All right. Now I got it. Now I'm going, as soon as this is done, I'm going to Google a picture of that and then flip it over. So do you think that will be the first single off of this new album?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah. This
Because
is,
it
thank you. I mean,
has a
this-
really powerful meaning and everything. So
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we'll see. I feel like this next project that I'll be working on is like tunes that I'm kind of looking to explore, like my family heritage and like where I come from and just like my upbringing. And I feel like that fits especially because for me.
right, yeah.
But yeah.
Wow. All right. I can't wait. Any? Do you even want to put a date on when you hope to have it out? Or,
no,
okay.
not yet, no.
Not even close. So one of the things that I kind of talked about on Instagram in the live video and with you in the stories is that your genre is very much jazz, I think, and I wouldn't even have put the jazz folk, but that was in your bio as well. So I started, thinking about jazz and just doing a little bit more research and went down this rabbit hole and discovered that defining jazz is actually quite hard for many people who even play it. So I just wanted you to kind of talk about that a little bit. How would you define jazz? Some said it's a noun, some said it's a verb, and then just everywhere in between. What is jazz for you? How do you define it?
Jazz is... Man, jazz is like a living creature, it's always evolving. You can't really pin it down. You can't really pin it down. And there's so many different styles and so many different approaches, but I feel like that's what makes jazz. It's about expression and improvisation and personality, and everyone's gonna express it the way they do. So it's like, I feel like jazz is just kind of it's hard to just call it jazz.
Right.
Because it's just such a vast thing. I don't. Yeah.
Tara Tara agrees. It's a very hard question. So why throw the added folk element in there when you were defining your music online? Why not just kind of stick to jazz and be like, since it's so big, that's what I'm gonna label it as?
To be honest, I feel like my music is also folk music because then again, like folk, there's so many different types of folk, you know, not only just like bluegrass or traditional. There's folk from, you know, different countries, you know, and like just different approaches. And I feel like, you know, it's really funny because like one of my mentors says, Lily Lewis is her name. She says that if you can play it on a porch, it's folk music. You know, and
Okay.
I feel like,
All right, I like
and I
that.
feel like the instrumentation that I use, I play acoustic guitar.
Right.
I really prefer playing along with hand percussionists or people that can use drum set and hands. Like I like an acoustic kind of sound, and I feel like for me that's folk music has that element to it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean it's also hard because I feel like it took me forever to even come up with jazz folk because I don't know. I feel like I kind of take whatever kind of moves me.
I like the definition of folk that you had, and I've seen a lot of the people that you've played with on YouTube. I guess band members, bandmates, or just people you play with. I've seen the cajon being used, a lot of the acoustic instruments that you talked about, and it really brings very awesome sound to jazz. And there's also that. I think I read somewhere also not to use the term world music element, but music from around the different cultures. You bring that feel into it as well, and it really is just a unique area that you're filling really well. It's really, really good stuff. So
Thank you.
kudos to what you're doing. The second album is going to be amazing. I can't wait for it. Whenever it happens, surprise us all with it.
Yes.
All right, so I want to save a lot of time to talk about the playlist theme this week. I've said this so many times, but you and your followers absolutely knocked this out of the park. This was so much fun to put together and see everybody, bouncing ideas off and sending stuff to you, and then people sending stuff to me, and it just kind of coming together and seeing how many people agreed on songs that maybe they hadn't heard in a long time. It was just really, really fun. And you said there were a lot of songs that really caught your attention that you wanted to talk about as well.
Man, oh, that was so much fun. It is so much fun this week. And man, to be honest, I've never hit the Instagram that hard in my life.
Okay.
it was a new experience, but it was really it was so much fun just to get people's answers, because like music is just such a powerful thing, and it can bring you back to like certain points of time. It could like fill you with joy or remind you of people, or I mean there's very like emotionally charged songs, or songs that make you feel sad, or like remember sad moments, and it's like, man, and there's just some songs that just make you want to move like the second you hear it. And I just wanted to kind of like tap into that, like what are those songs that you're like, oh man, that's my jam. I like, this is me. This is what I resonate with, you know? And it was just so cool to hear what people were saying.
It was a lot of fun. And I loved that you took this big idea of that's my jam, which you came up with. And as soon as you said, I was like, yeah, that's going to, well, I said, let me think about how, like, what could that look like? Because I thought, oh, that's my jam. Well, will that just be one song? But then, you said you could have multiple, and then taking it into the level that you did of, okay, favorite jam off the first album you bought with your own money, and then that strut song that or the strut jams, that was a really great question to ask. So I just love how you took it into all these different directions.
Man, it was just fun. I was just having fun with it, to be honest.
Were there any that you missed that you're like, I should have put this up there, or okay?
No, I don't know. I feel 100% like oversatisfied with, with how it went.
Okay, it's a very, very long playlist too, which I think it's at least a couple hours. The playlist version, and then some of the songs that I picked for the radio. I have almost 20 songs I think I'm going to play. I'm going to have to like cut some of them short because I want to make sure I give a shout out to as many people as I can that shared, as long as they shared songs I could play on the radio. There were a couple that's like, that's a great jam. I don't think I can play that.
Right, I get it.
There were some really, really great ones, and ones that I hadn't heard before from artists that I should have. Like I love the Roots, but I don't think I'd heard that Roots song, and that's like I should have, and I don't know why I hadn't heard of that Roots one.
Man, which one was that one again?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go back and look at it.
Was it The Movement?
Let me cue that up or pull that up. Let's see, which one was it on the Roots? So it's down here a little bit. I'm gonna have to the whole hour. It may have been. I think it was actually The Movement.
Oh man, that's a jam, man. Oh.
Yeah, and then A Tribe Called Quest, Find a Way. I was listening to that too. That was another really, really good one.
Man, I miss. Man, it's like it just kind of like all those tunes kind of reminded me. Like, there's like a lot of good music in this world, man. Yeah. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, really great. And with this playlist, I tried to go from, I tried to make the flow, kind of consistently move in one direction. It starts with Stevie Wonder, and then by the end we end with a little bit more kind of rock music. So I tried to take all these songs that people put through there and really kind of have a good flow to it. So I hope everybody likes it when they hear it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So before we get to 7 o'clock and we get to the playlist, again, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Emily asked, what kind of instruments do you use in your music? But I'll take that question a step further. On this new album that you have eventually coming out, what instruments do you think you will play on it?
You know what? I will probably stick to guitar and singing. I can play, various other instruments, but I feel like I have friends that can play them much better than me. And I would like them to play those instruments.
Okay. Do they know this yet? Or is this your formal asking of them? Okay.
Some of them know.
Okay. So if you know Lewis and you play a variety of instruments, he may be reaching out to you pretty soon. So let's see. What are ways that people can find you between now and this new album? What social media, and then also any live performances coming up that you have booked?
Instagram is probably the best, along with Facebook. I have a Facebook page as well. I think it's Lewis Apple Music on Facebook, but just my first and last name on Instagram, and you can get the link from there to everything else. Mm-hmm. I will be playing a show at Club Passim in September 13th. Monday, September 13th.
Okay.
As part of their Discovery series. And that place is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with. You said that. I was like,
no. Well, Rachel said it too. So
yes,
Rachel popped on.
Yes,
Club,
such an amazing place.
Well, I'm writing that down on my calendar.
Right on.
To go see that, because that'll be a great show. Are you playing with anyone, or is it just going to be you?
It might be just me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Maybe reconnect with some Boston people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. How do we get? or is it just going to kind of be what's it called, a cover at the door, or is there a better way to get tickets?
There, you can go onto Club Passim's website. You know, I will post it on my Instagram. You can go to my Instagram, or you can go to Club Passim's website. They have all the concerts listed, and I think it should be up there now.
Okay, great. We got to get it before it gets sold out. I wonder what the capacity will be like. I mean, things are pretty much open here in Boston, but who knows? So
Right. I know they're also doing like they're still streaming too, so they're doing live and streaming at the same time. So
okay.
you
Oh,
can
wow.
catch the stream as well.
Okay. I wonder how many places are going to continue to do that, because it kind of opens
You
up
know,
a whole
it's
more,
amazing.
yeah, a whole
I
other
mean,
way to
why
sell
not?
tickets and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's something to be said about being at the venue, being around the people. But if you couldn't make it for some reason that day, at least get to live stream the performance. So, yeah, it's funny how, COVID was awful in so many ways, and yet it also opened up a lot of doors that hadn't been there before, and it's
Right,
kind of
right.
challenging the way we think about how we work, live, enjoy entertainment. Some good, some bad, but just how it just kind of changed culture is interesting. I wish it didn't have to be under such awful circumstances,
Right. Right.
but for us to kind of have this rethinking of everything is important.
Hmm.
All right, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you just doesn't seem like it works really well to say thank you. So I loved having you play. Love your music. I hope to see you when you come to Boston. Play live, and I'll just wave from afar because I know you're going to be so busy. Everybody listening there, if you love Louis as much as I do, and everybody else who listens to him loves him, definitely listen to his music. But if you want to give him just a little bit of extra support, in the link to my Instagram bio, there is a virtual tip jar. It's with the Cash app. You can just throw him a little bit of tip and say, hey, keep going. I want to support you in this and love what you're doing. But definitely, at the very least, listen to his music, because it's on Spotify. Buy his music. Come see him live. Do whatever you can to make sure you support Louis. So again, thank you so much for everything.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Right.
And thanks
And,
for those listening at home.
Yes, listening at home and watching the stream online. We've had
That's
such a
right.
great turnout online. So many comments. Emily Kim, thank you. Jefferson Kim. We have Tara, Rachel. Those were just the ones who had the comments, but then so many people watching as well. So really, really do appreciate. I appreciate your support for this little thing I'm doing, and I know Louis appreciates it too. All right, you think you will continue to listen to the show as I go through this playlist?
Yeah, listen.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, well, again, thank you. I'm going to, let's see, I have a couple of minutes before the top of the hour. Maybe I'll start the first song on the playlist. I'll let that go for a little bit. And then after the station identification at the top of the hour, I will jump back in and start giving the shout outs and talking about the music more. So, all right, Louis, I will see you later.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.